The ongoing saga of the upgrade of the main route between North West England and North Wales has been rumbling on for 20 years, during which time major upgrades of the section between the M56 and A494 Dee bridge have been completed. However, plans to improve the link between the Dee bridge and A55 have repeatedly been rejected. The upgrade of the section between the A550 and A494, known as Drome Corner, was completed in 2004. While two dangerous roundabouts and a flat traffic light controlled junction between the M56 and A550 were removed in 2009, replaced with a free-flowing, grade-separated link. The Welsh Government was supposed to build on this upgrade by widening Aston Hill between the Dee bridge and A55 interchange. However, this work was never started due to strong local objection due to the scale of the proposed upgrade, which could have been, I believe, up to 12 lanes wide in parts, with the addition of the proposed so-called connector distributor roads, which would have been similar to the roads linking the A548 Deeside junction to the Sealand Road roundabout. Later, the Welsh Government put forward two proposals, one of which included, once again, upgrading Aston Hill, or building a new connection between the Flintshire Bridge, aka the Bridge to Nowhere, and the A55 near to Holkin. The latter, known as the Red Route, was adopted as the preferred option. However, this route was again rejected, as the Welsh Government later decided that it was no longer going to build new roads. So, for the past 20 years, drivers coming from England into Wales have had to deal with lengthy queues at Drome Corner, as the 3 lanes of the westbound A494 plus the on-slip from the A458 converge to just 2 lanes, which cross the River Dee. So, during the summer months in particular, local traffic from Chester or the Wirral to Queensferry has to contend with holiday traffic and HGVs heading to North Wales and Holyhead. If you live in the area, then I'm sure you know what it's like on a Friday or the day before a bank holiday. If I'm sounding a tad frustrated at this point, it's because I've had to contend with the A494 on many an occasion, and have been following the saga closely for the last 20 years, during which time the Welsh Government seems to have perfected the art of doing nothing, while making it look as if it's doing something. I know as an Englishman I perhaps shouldn't comment on Welsh politics, but I'm sure people can understand the frustration, especially as the section from the M56 to the Dee bridge was upgraded, and the upgrades, which were supposed to be progressed in Wales, just came to a stop. But what has this got to do with the replacement of the bridge over the River Dee? Well, the first proposal for its replacement had the potential in a small way to improve the situation by providing 3 lanes from the A548 junction to the Queensferry junction. This, in my opinion, would, at the very least, have provided some separation between long distance and local traffic. In theory, people travelling from the Wirral or Chester to Queensferry and Sandycroft would, in effect, have their own lane from the A548 to the Queensferry turnoff, and vice versa for traffic heading the other way. This proposal should have gotten around the No New Roads Directive, as it was technically a renewal. The deck of the existing 4-lane bridge is in a poor state, and has reached the point where it would no longer be economical to repair. Such is the scale of the work, repairing the deck would likely have required multiple lane closures for several years. Doing nothing at all would likely mean that speed and weight restrictions would have to be applied in future, followed by permanent lane closures and the eventual full closure of the bridge. As the A494 forms the main link from North West England to North Wales, carrying upwards of 70,000 vehicles a day, then closure is simply not an option. It was therefore proposed that a new bridge should be constructed offline, which is to say, next to the existing bridge. Then, once complete, the old bridge would be closed while a new deck was installed. Once complete, the old bridge would reopen for eastbound traffic, and the new bridge would be used for westbound traffic. This would have then provided 3 lanes in each direction. However, this plan was also rejected, it seems due to environmental concerns. But it's also equally likely that it was down to the cost. This leaves us with the most recent proposal, approval for which has just been announced. Despite being a much needed bridge replacement, the scheme has had to go through the normal public consultation phase and value for money assessment, which has taken several years to complete. The latest proposal will see the existing bridge replaced entirely with a new structure, which will have only 2 running lanes in each direction, as well as hard shoulders and a shared cycle and pedestrian path. This bridge will be assembled offline to the southeast or upstream of the existing bridge. This revised scheme, which is smaller in scale, has a projected cost of between £150 and £200 million, which sounds like a lot, but it's about the going rate for a major bridge replacement these days. Frustratingly, the reduced scope means that the pinch points will remain and congestion will not be eased. The Welsh Government does, however, argue it's improving active travel links with the new shared path, but it's unlikely to have a meaningful impact on traffic volumes given that much of the traffic is long distance. The scheme is, however, being taken forward, with work expected to begin at the end of this year or in early 2027. It will then take between 2 and 3 years to complete the project. As the new bridge is being built offline, the disruption will be reduced during construction. There may be speed restrictions and lane closures on occasion, but the existing bridge should be able to remain largely open throughout the construction of the new bridge. Significant full road or lane closures should only be required during the realignment of the existing carriageway over the new bridge. Once the road has been diverted over the new bridge, the existing structure will be removed. Although there will only be 2 lanes in each direction to begin with, there has been suggestion that the new hard shoulders could be converted into live lanes in future. The exact wording within the report states reallocation of road space, which I've taken to mean possible hard shoulder running. However, I may be wrong. I'm also not sure why provision for future reallocation is being included when capacity is already constrained. It's almost certain that the scheme will go ahead, although there will be a 6-week window within which the plans could be challenged at the High Court. However, this seems unlikely, as previous outstanding disputes over the compulsory purchase of land have been settled. If all goes to plan, the new bridge should open to traffic by 2029. There is one final twist in the saga, which is that the Welsh Government are once again looking at plans to build the so-called Red Route. But I am sceptical that this scheme will ever be taken forward. Just before I go, could I ask that if you found this video informative, that you please give it a like, as it helps my content to get noticed. And subscribe if you haven't already, as I will likely be following the construction of the bridge once work does eventually start. And I do hope in future to cover other projects in the region.